station in Letterland. With my fellow firemen, we are the fastest firefighters you can find anywhere. Here are some of the children at Manor Hill School, and we are going to sing Fireman Fred's song.
Fireman Fred, fire engine.
Follow me to my fire engine.
Fireman Fred and the Forest Fire. Eddie Elephant was walking beside the lake with an empty expression on his face. He was making a big effort to think. He wanted to make a float for the flower festival, but he could not think of an exciting idea. "Hello, Eddie," called Fireman Fred, who was fishing nearby. "Have you finished your float yet? I finished mine. It's my fire engine, completely covered with flowers."
"Oh, that sounds excellent,"
said Eddie. Suddenly, Eddie's face brightened up. Fireman Fred had given him an idea.
"I'll have an engine too," he said. "A different sort of engine. I think I can make one, but can you pull it for me?"
Fortunately, Fireman Fred said yes, so Eddie started to collect some logs to make his engine. "Don't forget the Flower Festival parade starts at 11 o'clock at the fire station," called Fred.
"I won't forget,"
said Eddie Elephant. Just then, Golden Girl arrived. She was in her go-car. "Hello, Fred," she called. "I've come to gather some flowers. I'm going to make my go-car look really gorgeous for the Flower Festival tomorrow. Can you help me to pick the flowers?" Soon Fireman Fred and Golden Girl had filled her go-car with flowers. There was no more time for fishing, so Fireman Fred climbed into Golden Girl's car and they both drove home. "Don't forget to be at the fire station at 11, said Fireman Fred again. "I won't forget," said Golden Girl. At 11 o'clock the next day, Eddie Elephant rode up to the fire station. Everyone was delighted to see his float. It looked like an express train. It was painted red and black, and on the side it said, Elephant Express. Eddie sat on top, wearing an engine driver's cap. Fireman Fred and Fireman Frank had made their fire engine look almost like a forest of flowers. Soon they were all ready to drive off to the parade with Eddie's float in tow behind. Then they heard Golden Girl racing up behind them. Her go-car really did look gorgeous with goldenrod flowers glued to the top and sides. Golden Girl waved at them, but her face looked very grim. "Stop, stop, stop," she cried. "Forget the parade. There's a fire in the forest. Follow me."
"This sounds like an emergency,"
exclaimed Eddie. The two firemen rushed to clear the flowers away from the fire hoses. In a flash, the fire engine was racing off towards the forest, with Eddie's Elephant Express close behind. Frantically, they raced through the town, where all the crowds were waiting for the parade. They passed Bouncy Ben's brass band. They passed the grandstand, where the prizes for the best float would be given out. More flowers flew off the fire engine. Fireman Frank began to raise the ladder, ready to start fighting the fire. When they reached the forest, the flames were already 50 feet high. Eddie Elephant, Fireman Fred, and Fireman Frank went into action at once. Eddie Elephant sucked up a trunkful of water from the lake. Then he raced to the fire's edge and sprayed water everywhere. Fireman Fred flooded the nearest flames with foam. Meanwhile, Fireman Frank rushed up the ladder with his hose and sprayed the highest flame. Golden Girl grabbed some buckets and used her go-car to carry more water up from the lake. 15 minutes later, the fire was out. "Thanks, Eddie," said both the firemen. "And thank you, Golden Girl. You were a great help." "It's lucky you saw the fire on your way to the parade," said Frank. "Otherwise, the whole forest might have gone up in flames."
"I suppose we are too late for the parade,"
said Eddie Elephant, looking sadly at the fire engine. Hardly any flowers were left on it. Most of the flowers were gone from Golden Girl's go-car as well.
Never mind, said Frank. Let's go and see who won the parade. We can still pull your Elephant Express.
So off they went. Eddie sat proudly on his Elephant Express with the fireman in front and Golden Girl going on ahead. As they came into the town, they were very surprised to hear everyone cheering.
Who are they cheering?
Asked Eddie. Fireman Fred listened to the cheers and looked at everyone waving. Then he smiled.
I think they're cheering us, he said.
They were. Everyone had heard about the forest fire and how Eddie and Golden Girl had helped the two firemen put it out. When the four of them arrived in front of the grandstand, everyone cheered even more loudly. There was the king with 4 enormous garlands of flowers.
I'm sorry we missed the parade,
said Eddie. Oh, but you didn't, said the king. We watched you racing past on your way to the fire. These garlands are the prizes for the fastest firefighting floats in Letterland.
Flowers. 5. Float. I'm falling like a stone. I'm flowing like a river. I'm going fast like a racing car. Making flowers. Funny faces. I'm painting at the elephants. I'm painting Fireman Fred. I'm painting Golden Girl. Making Letterland puppets. Follow Fireman Fred's footsteps. Follow me.
Don't go away. Stay here with me to see what's next on 4.
that about a potato?
Nothing, sir.
Nothing? Have you got me all the way down here to tell me there is nothing new on the potato? I sincerely hope not for your sake, Entry.
No, sir, I've got to tell you about sport. I found out all about sport.
Where's that, then?
Apparently, it's not a place. It's something the two legs do or watch to have fun. There are lots of types of sports, most of which include running about and getting tired.
It seems particularly pointless.
They don't think so. In fact, you wouldn't believe what the big two legs called Daddy gets up to. He calls it jogging.
Jogging?
That's right. It's an absolute scream. You'll love it. First of all, he takes off all his normal clothes and puts on a silly coloured suit to disguise himself. The sillier the clothes, the better the jogging will be, apparently.
No!
Wait, it gets better. Then comes a period of jumping up and down, waving his arms about.
You're making this up, Entry, surely.
I'm not, really I'm not. Then comes the big one, the jogging itself. The object is to get out onto the streets and look as silly as you can in front of as many people as possible for the maximum length of time.
Stop, please stop, Entry, I can't stand
Hang on, it is absolutely essential that the jogger rushes up behind elderly two legs and scares them half to death. But then they have to get out of the way quickly so as they can't be hit with the umbrellas.
Umbrellas, how wonderful.
The whole thing is under the control of the four legs called dogs. They run around the legs of the jogger, making sure that he keeps jumping around a lot, in case he doesn't quite look foolish enough.
Priceless. What happens at the end? Are they all arrested by the police and put in prison?
No! They dash home as fast as possible and change back into normal clothes so that no one will recognise them. It's a hoot!
Do you know, I didn't think the two legs were capable of such fun.
Nor did I, sir.
I don't think I can take any more today. Very well done, Henry. Excellent finding.
Thank you.
Come on, Cosmic 2, we'd better hurry. Hit them with umbrellas. Fabulous. Oh, and Henry.
Sir?
Find out where the potato fits in all this, will you? I've still got a hutch ready for him. Right, goodbye.
Well, that went quite well, didn't it? I wonder if there's anything to this exercise, Lark. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's enough. I don't want to overdo it.
One famous day we soared away in deepest, darkest space to find the world from planet Earth, that dark, mysterious place. We didn't want the Earth to know about our curious stares, and so we crossed the universe disguised as dining chairs.
I'm helping Henry, and I'm telling Henry everything I know. Henry, I'm helping Henry, but we've still got a long, long way to go.
Now what is sand? Why do birds fly? Why do you use closed pegs? If peaches have such nice soft skin, do apricots have legs? How do you get to be a king? Do leopards like their lairs? That's why we cross the universe disguised as dining chairs.
Henry, I'm helping Henry, and I'm telling Henry everything.
Well, now it's time on 4 to mind your P's and Q's.